Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Teresa Giudice reveals why she has hope that her ex-husband Joe will return to US. Teresa Giudice revealed that she has hope that her ex-husband, Joe Giudice, would be allowed to return to the United States more than 5 years after his deportation. During a January 2025 episode of her Turning the Tables podcast, The Real Housewives of New Jersey, OG said she would love to ask her former celebrity apprentice, boss-turned-president, Donald Trump, to pardon her ex. "I would love to request a pardon," Giudice admitted. "If anyone understands the whole real estate thing, obviously, it's Donald Trump, so he would understand and knows. I hope, and I've talked to psychics that said they see Joe back in this country," Giudice added. Giudice was a contestant on Trump's reality competition, The Apprentice, in 2012. After he became president, she told People magazine that she did not reach out to Trump for help regarding her then-husband's deportation. "I don't have a relationship with Mr. Donald Trump in that way," she admitted at the time. "I would take his call. If he would call me, of course I would take his call." Joe Giudice was deported out of the United States after serving a 41-month prison sentence for fraud charges. He has lived in the Bahamas since 2021, per the Daily Dish. The Giudices divorced in 2020 and share daughters Gia, 23, Gabriella, 20, Melania, 18, and Adriana, 15. In 2022, Teresa Giudice married Louis Ruelas. Speaking on her podcast, Giudice explained why she wants her former husband back in New Jersey. "I hope it does happen, because then he could help me with the girls," she explained. She added that the legal system is so screwed up. And then for Joe to get deported, and that woman Anna Delvey that was on Dancing with the Stars is still in this country. Are you kidding me? And Joe has 4 kids, and it's just so mind-boggling to me. So I hope it does happen, but I want it to happen, right away, because then he could help me, with the girls. Giudice explained that her ex doesn't make as much money in the construction business in the Bahamas as he would in the United States. "I would want him to come here to be with his daughters, to help me with them because everything is on me," she said. "And of course, Louis amazing, but those are my kids, and they're Joe's kids." This isn't the first time Giudice has talked about wanting her ex to come back to the U.S. "I wish one day he could come back to the United States, because it wasn't fair what happened to him. It was paperwork, and I don't think he should have gotten deported," she said during a 2023 BravoCon panel. Teresa Giudice, the outspoken star of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, has always been an open book when it comes to her family life, including the rocky chapters that have unfolded between her and her ex-husband Joe Giudice. In a recent interview, Teresa candidly shared her thoughts on the possibility of Joe returning to the United States after his deportation to Italy, and her words reflect a mixture of optimism, resilience, and deep-rooted hope. The complexities of love and family. Teresa's journey with Joe has been anything but simple. The couple, who were once seen as the epitome of a strong Italian-American family, faced serious challenges when both were convicted of financial fraud in 2014. Joe, born in Italy, was sentenced to prison, and after serving his time, he was deported back to Italy in 2019. Teresa remained in the U.S., raising their 4 daughters while also navigating the pressures of her celebrity life. Over the years, their relationship has evolved. While the two have divorced, there's no denying the bond they share, especially for the sake of their children. Teresa, who's never shied away from discussing the dynamics of her family, has consistently spoken about her desire for Joe to be close to their daughters and her belief that family should always come first. Now, nearly 5 years after Joe's deportation, Teresa is opening up about why she still has hope that Joe may one day return to the U.S. and reunite with their daughters. The power of forgiveness. In the interview, Teresa touched on a theme that has been central to her journey: forgiveness. Despite the tumultuous end to their marriage and the strain of living apart for so long, Teresa emphasizes that she will always have a place in her heart for Joe. "I have forgiven Joe," she said. "We've been through a lot, and no matter what, He will always be the father of my children. This sentiment of forgiveness is one of the cornerstones of her hope that Joe's return to the U.S. is still possible. Teresa believes that the love and forgiveness she continues to hold for Joe can transcend the borders that currently separate them. Doesn't erase the pain and the hardships they've endured. Teresa is keenly aware of the difficulties that have marked their relationship, but she chooses to focus on the positive and to look toward a future that may allow them to heal and reunite, if possible. The role of their daughters. Another critical aspect of Teresa's hope is the love and devotion she feels for her daughters, Gia, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana. As their mother, Teresa has always put their needs first, and despite the distance between them and their father, she's never wavered in her desire for them to maintain a strong bond with Joe. The girls miss their dad, she shared. They've had to grow up with this situation, and it's been tough on them. Teresa speaks about how much her daughters have matured through the challenges, but the absence of their father has still weighed heavily on them. Their bond with Joe is evident, and Teresa feels that one of the biggest motivators for Joe's potential return is the deep connection he still has with them. She explains that the girls have continued to communicate with Joe regularly through phone calls and visits to Italy, but nothing can replace the experience of having their father physically present in their lives. Teresa believes that Joe's return to the U.S. would provide the emotional stability and completeness that the girls have been craving. This, she asserts, is one of the driving forces behind her belief that a reunion could one day be possible. Legal and logistical challenges. Of course, Teresa is no stranger to the legal battles that have been an unfortunate part of her family's narrative. The reality star has been vocal about how challenging it was to deal with Joe's deportation, and she knows that there are significant legal hurdles standing in the way of his return to the U.S. However, Teresa has always remained hopeful that things can change. Joe's legal team has explored multiple avenues to reverse the deportation, and while there's been no clear indication that his return to the U.S. is imminent, Teresa points out that things are always changing. You never know what can happen, she muses. There's always a possibility. Her optimism comes from a deep-seated belief that the future is never set in stone, and that the legal system can sometimes offer unexpected solutions. Teresa is hopeful that, over time, the laws surrounding immigration and deportation may shift, and Joe could find a way to legally re-enter the U.S. With this in mind, Teresa continues to keep her fingers crossed and remains supportive of Joe as he navigates his own journey. New beginnings. Since her divorce from Joe, Teresa has moved on with her life. She married Luis Ruiz in 2021, a union that has brought her happiness and stability. Luis has been supportive of her family dynamic, always encouraging Teresa to prioritize her daughter's well-being and her relationship with Joe. It's clear that Teresa has found a new chapter in her life, but she maintains that Joe will always be a part of her story. In her interview, Teresa emphasized the importance of maintaining healthy relationships for the sake of her daughters. The girls love Luis, and they know that he's always going to be there for them, but they also love their dad, she said. Teresa's ability to balance her new life while honoring her past speaks to the strength of her character and the depth of her devotion to her family. While she's found happiness with Luis, her hope for Joe's return remains a separate, but important, part of her heart. She is realistic about the challenges that would come with Joe re-entering the U.S. and reintegrating into their family's life, but she remains hopeful that with time, things could work out for the best. A message of hope for others. In sharing her feelings about Joe, Teresa not only offers a window into her personal life, but also delivers a message of resilience to those facing difficult circumstances. Life throws curveballs at you, she said. You just have to keep pushing forward and believe that things can get better. Her words offer hope to anyone dealing with separation, distance, or complicated family dynamics. Teresa's journey has been one of incredible highs and lows, and she has chosen to move through it all with optimism, grace, and a deep sense of hope that anything is possible. Even a reunion with her ex-husband for the sake of their family. Though there are many obstacles standing in the way of Joe's return, Teresa's unwavering faith in the power of love, family, and hope suggests that for her, this chapter is far from over. As she continues to forge ahead with her life, she holds onto the belief that family, no matter the distance, always finds a way back to one another.